What's good, everybody? Happy New Year! It's your girl Sony with our little show Tit Talks. Hope you're well. Hope it's been going great. You know, you did your thing for New Year's. I know a lot of people were posting about being hungover and all that kind of fun stuff. So I thought we would get right into it. You know, as you can see, we're super cool for New Year's Day. It is officially 2019 Pacific Standard Time. And like I said, I hope you really enjoyed whatever it is you were doing. A lot of people were posting about being home. A lot of people were posting about being out. I know some people did the couples kind of stuff. There were people getting engaged. So, you know, I know you were doing your thing and living your best life and making resolutions. If you have a resolution that you can share with me or that you want to share with me or whatever, please do so. I know what the hell am I doing? I'm looking for my oh, here it is. I thought that we could go over a couple of things, and that is some people that first I want to tell you guys a story. Okay, there's a story time first. Okay, so right. Here's you know, I know sometimes we talk about how to deal with the opposite sex and just maybe like some dating and or lifestyle tips, whether you heard me say something and you were like, oh my god, now I know exactly who I don't want to be like, or you were like, oh my god, I never thought about it that way. You know, I know the likelihood of it being the latter isn't incredibly high, but I'm not here dropping like some new knowledge. I don't think I'm like shocking you with enlightenment. This is stuff that you already knew. We're just bouncing ideas off of each other, you know what I mean? So anyway, I will tell you guys that for my New Year's Eve, right, I used my good old foresight to be able to know exactly what I needed to do to have a good New Year's Eve. And here's why I tell you that. Okay, so no, it wasn't even New Year's Day. It was like the weekend. And there was somebody that I'm friends with, and you know, it's kind of obvious that like they're cool and everything. They're just a flake, basically, more or less. You know, they got that flaking karma. Okay, well, whatever, do you? And he's, you know, he's taking care of everything for himself as far as I can understand. So, you know, he's his own boss. There's not anybody to there's no reason he needs to be worried about not being a flake. Put it that way. Nothing in his life gets compromised from him being that way. But anyway, so we were supposed to hang out a couple of different times, and the first time something came up for me, and I missed it, and he ended up having to do something else. The next day, you know, we said, okay, we're gonna get to do something tomorrow. No problem. The next day comes. This is over the weekend. The next day comes, you know, he ends up flicking out on me. I'm like, okay, my dude. Then he counters to me and says, oh, what are you doing for New Year's? And I'm like, okay, why do people ask that if they're not trying to do something, then why would they ask you, like, conversationally? And I don't mean, like, it's not like he said it like, okay, he just flaked on what we were supposed to do. And then then you counter with, what are you doing for New Year's? So I'm not saying that I would say that it's not a reach to assume that you're asking me for a reason. Otherwise, it's like, what is your reason? You're just like making bullshit small talk. Maybe I'm just too much like Nicki Minaj that I don't do the small talk. So, yeah. Anyway, right. So then he's like, "Oh, what are you doing for New Year's?" And I said, "Well, I haven't made any specific plans yet," which wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't true, but I already had a default plan in my mind. It just wasn't necessary to share it with him. So right, I'm like, I didn't lock down any plans, which isn't untrue. I hadn't like locked it down and said, well, this is what I'm definitely doing no matter what. But I had a default plan. And the reason I'm telling you this story as kind of a little life thing is basically to reiterate that you should always have, what am I trying to say? Always champion you. You know, just because he was kind of in my face and saying this kind of stuff and saying, oh, what are you doing for New Year's? You know, if I really was so invested in trusting this person with my happiness on New Year's Eve, in other words, just because he's acting like he's extending a courtesy of like, not a courtesy, but you know, he's extending himself to say like, oh, what are you doing for New Year's Eve after we couldn't get together for what we're supposed to do today? You know, you're asking me about it like immediately after. So then when I said I didn't make plans, I also added, but furthermore, I guess I don't really need to ask you what you're doing for New Year's Eve if you're not asking about us hanging out for New Year's Eve. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what I said. And he was like, so he ended up saying, hold on. There's no reason I can't read it. Oh, my first receipt, y'all. But I can't. But I didn't already edit it, so I can't show you like what. Oh, did I delete it? Oh yeah, I got. Sorry, never mind. I got mad and deleted it. Oh well. Boss receipt. Anyway, but right, no, just to know the story. He texted me back and was like, if I that's what he said. If I find something to do, I'll let you know. Now this is like still the weekend. It's like Sunday by now. And I'm looking at this text like, if you find something, you'll let me know? What kind of okie doke consolation participant ribbon prize shit is this? No. Okay, so as much as it was my knee-jerk reaction, like my initial reaction was the one I like let him know, like, look, I don't need your like little like pity being nice, but really you're gonna wait till the afternoon on New Year's Eve to say, oh, I didn't think of anything, or pretend you don't feel well, or some bullshit here. Right, like my thing is like you don't have to go out of your way to be rude to people, but can we please work on leaving behind the fake polite shit in 2018? Like, there's what would be so bad about just telling the truth? I mean, you don't have to go out of your way to hurt somebody's feelings. But why would you pretend like, oh, if I find something to do, when okay, you've already flicked out on me this whole week. It's fine. Like, look, there's a lot of stuff going on maybe for you. It doesn't matter. But why wouldn't you say that over like stringing somebody along? Sexy. So the reason I was not really impressed by that. Not that he was trying to impress me. I'm saying like, the reason that rubbed me the wrong way was because it's like, right, again, like I see that you're stringing me along and you kind of giving me this like okie doke shit that if I cared, like it just cracks me up that if I was like really, I don't want to say smitten because we're just friends, but let's say it was like so important to me that we hung out and, you know, I'm like really kind of like your biggest fan or something corny, and I'm like all worried and I got all my hopes, you know, in the idea that we're gonna do something for New Year's Eve, and like I'm smart enough to see that you just left it kind of open-ended so that like if I end up being upset, like if I had been emotionally invested in him saying, oh, well, if I find something to do, I'll let you know. If I had been emotionally invested in that, like if I had been silly enough to act like I'm invoking anything more than the fuckboy out of you. So, right, like, if I lied to myself that you were trying to act like anything more than like kind of a fuckboy friend to me, then I would be upset because, right, you would have let New Year's Eve roll all the way through with me thinking that you're trying to cook up a master plan. And right, really you're just kind of running out the clock until I figure it out that, oh yeah, you know, the last thing you want to do is bring sand to the beach. My dude, my dude. Look, I know you don't know me all like that, but we talked a little bit. You know my background. Like I said, used to deal with cars, and I was in the military and stuff like that. I'm kind of like way more experienced with guy stuff than you, and that's cool. I'm not calling you a bitch, and I'm not subscribing to the gender roles of knowing cars, military, farm stuff, outdoor stuff, right? Like as I say stuff, it's so profesh anyway, but right, like I'm not throwing that in his face, kind of low key am, but I'm saying that it's not like I need you, bottom line, it's not like I need you to sugarcoat it for me. I speak mansplain very fluently by now. So I know you, like, he doesn't know me all like that, you know, we're friendly, or just like friendly, but it just annoyed me because, like, dude, well, I thought you only kicked it with the realist. So how you end up giving me this, like, you attempted to give me this, like, kind of okie doke scenario that I don't know if I was supposed to catch on or he didn't care to catch on or whatever. Like, and I shouldn't even be this hype. But I'm saying, like, the scenario of that is what irritates me. If it was him or the next person, it doesn't matter so much that it was exactly him. People doing that, you know, this, like, polite kind of string along. Now, my point is, well, one of them is that if I have been emotionally invested in him saying, "Oh, I'm gonna find something for us to do and let you know, like it's New Year's Eve," okay, like that's so important to, you know, a certain percentage of people. I myself, right, I'm really into the whole New Year's thing. I saw somebody post this really funny thing saying, like, people act like they're like walking through a portal, and I totally pictured that. You know, they're like walking through a portal for New Year's, right? Like, here we go, you know. If I wasn't like too lazy to try to edit, I would totally make some kind of little portal skit thing in the future. I will, but I don't want to just not upload. So that brings us to my New Year's resolution for 2019, and that is to, like, no day without a line. Beethoven said that, or Mozart. I will verify that at some point. Meanwhile, a famous composer said, "No day without a line." So let's try to do no day without an upload. All beautiful. I think I'm at 17 of you. Thank you so much. You know, we made it. We made it. You know, I want to thank Jesus for not interfering with my channel and just everything. So, right, the next point. So I wanted to, anyway, that, right, like that scenario was annoying, only mainly because there wasn't any reason for him to keep it real. And then so right, like, I won't hold you, I ended up getting kind of annoyed, and I was like, what did I say? He's like, "Oh yeah, oh right." So I answered him, and I was like, "My dude, you're trying to be, like, nice, polite, and that's cool, but it's kind of obvious that you don't seem hyped to have, like, a New Year's Eve buddy, if you will." And I'm not talking about a buddy, you know, it's not, but I didn't feel like thinking of some other word, so I just said buddy. We've never done anything, like I said, we were friendly, we're supposed to get something done, and then we kept, like, putting it off. Okay, so now it's like New Year, so right, it's kind of like a combination of some friendly shit or whatever we were going to do. And so right, like, my thing is, instead of pretending like you were going to look into something and acting like I was just supposed to believe that until, like, I don't know, 6 p.m. on New Year's Eve, if I had been emotionally invested in what he said, if that would have ruined my life, you know, if I had been emotionally invested, I'm saying, if I haven't worried about or believed him, how about that? If I had bothered to believe what he was saying, if I had given him the credit of being a man of his word, I would have played myself, because I would have been sitting there with no plan B or whatever, which is still on me. Right, again, rather than be emotionally invested in this guy, pretending like, oh, well, or kind of just kind of just, oh yeah, if a plan falls into his lap, fine. If not, you know, whatever. He's just come up with some BS, you know. And the way he had flaked out on us getting together, let me know early. Like, when people show you who they are, believe them. I do. Excuse me, I do currently subscribe to that belief system, in that when people show you who they are, believe them. As soon as he started flaking out, I'm not worried about taking it personal, although it rubbed me the wrong way. But at the same time, I was still direct. I showed him how it was done. Look, instead of being, and I told him, and he's like, oh, right. So this is the conclusion of this long ass story, is that he ended up texting. Once I was up front with him and said, look, it seems like you're just kind of being polite or nice or whatever. I can tell that, you know, at least I'm not an option that you're thinking about for tonight, which is cool, you know, but I'm just making it known, and have a good new year. And he wrote me back and was like, "Oh no, but have a really good new year, and I do want to, you know, I do want to go handle that later on. Like, I do want to still get that done." And I was like, sure, boss. Like, okay, you know, like, you know, I don't know, if you're not interested in us in, excuse me. If you're not interested in, like, regardless of who you are, you know, because I know this could be taken as a seedy context, but we really were just friends. And that's why, even more so, I'm like, if me as a friend, or being like somebody that you know or kick it with or whatever, you know, it's the holidays, we're just kind of kicking it and having a good time. If that's beyond your scope of abilities, or you don't feel like, you know, maybe I qualified one day but I'm not qualifying today, or whatever your problem is, that's your prerogative. You're not obligated to like maintain a friendship or acquaintance or whatever. It's fine. If I'm not the flavor of your day, that has to be okay with me. You know, hopefully you can do so respectfully. It's not about going out of your way to say why I'm not your flavor of the day, but at least be upfront enough to be real with both of us instead of stringing me along. Because on a more basic bitch, that might trigger their crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because you're stringing along all because you don't have the courage to say whatever's really going on your skull. And if you're such a big deal, then why are you worried about what anybody thinks? Granted, I mean, maybe you have stuff to lose, but I guess, you know, right, if you're that boss or whatever, then, I mean, things must get more real than some girl that you're just not that into. You know what I mean? I'm not saying we need to hurry up and be soulmates or anything. Like I said, we were friendly. We were just on some friendly shit. But that's even more all the point, that there's no need to string me along. There is nothing to prove. There's nothing to prove by stringing me along. So anyway, right. Let's at least resolve to leave the fuckboyism and fuck girl, like whatever that kind of, like, whatever that fake play. So that's what I countered him with and said, when he said like, oh yeah, but look, I still want to link up for that and bippity bop. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I was like, this way you can just let me know when it's a good time instead of this fake polite shit. Like, real talk. And he's like, oh, haha, okay. Like, I don't know if he meant that sarcastically. I didn't even care, you know, because I had said what I said. And as far as I was concerned, it was squashed business, you know, because you were pussyfooting around about different stuff that, like, just, there's no need. I know it probably just sounds like I'm bitter Betty because somebody, like, ditched their plans. But what I'm trying to say is I had the foresight to know he was playing games. And instead of lying to myself to think that this person was going to keep their word, instead of lying to myself about them being a man of their word, I kept it real with myself and already had my little plans and my supplies right. You know, your girl had her supplies together. I've been saving up for that night. I've been saving. I made it okay that I'm okay by myself. I'm okay if I end up at a party, like, whatever's clever, whatever's good with me, I'm good that night. I'm good. I got my little, right, damn right, my meal for one, cooked it myself. It was delicious. I had a little bit of libations. I had, you know, my 420 situation, you know, because it's legal out here. And, right, your girl was having a great time. Netflix debited whatever little pennies I had left in my bank account, you know, because I told you guys I got laid off a couple weeks ago. And, right, like, and I did not turn off the Netflix. I ended up, but then, like, I forgot because the thing had missed the debit so many times already, and then my bank sends me like a little text message or notification, whatever, to say who tried to get paid and didn't, and I kind of just like wasn't thinking about it. And then once I did have a couple little ducats, Netflix was right there ready to pounce. Now, granted, no, I'm not throwing shade at them. You know, they were all, that's how the little contract works or whatever. I didn't turn it off. So, it was just funny to me because what the gig that I had lined up that was going to take care of keeping my internet on ended up falling through the day of the gig, you know, which, and right, like, TBH, it wasn't a situation where, and I know that sounds so shady, but they got gigs on Craigslist and different stuff like that. Okay, so like just try to open your minds. Right? Why would I be worried or acting as though you already were judging me? I'm just saying. I know that, like, since I'm in Vegas or whatever, it's hard to think people just find random gigs like house cleaning or legit acting or just different random things, you know. But my point is that somebody canceled a gig that I had, and I was like, that was going to be the money that kept the internet working. So now that has fallen through, I mean, you know, I'm just like, again, scrambling, trying to get it done. And I'm not pandering my problems. I forget why I was telling you that. But, because of the Netflix. So right, like, I just had this couple little ducats left in my bank account, and Netflix, you know, was right there ready to be predatory on my ducats, and right, got all 8 of them that they take or whatever. And, right, I mean, your girl was salty, but at least, you know, it is what it is at that point. And, Taylor Swift dance. I lost my train of thought, you know. But, okay, so let's fast forward. That's enough of that story. The point is, I got my little last word in. I said what I said. I already knew that person was being a flake and a fake. And it's not that, listen, I'm not saying that he couldn't be a G to other people. But for whatever reason, your girl was totally bringing out his inner fuckboy, you know. And so, right, I mean, I think I was just more irritated that that's the kind of vibe I was bringing out of him. It's like, wow, you know, I really wanted to believe that you were like this stand-up dude, even to just have as a friend, and here I am bringing out your inner fuckboy because you're casually showing me that you're not keeping your word. And then there were a couple other people that ended up not keeping their word at the last minute with gigs and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, what kind of karma is this? Because I've really been doing my best to like do what I say, and that's kind of like, you know, for a few high points in my life, that has kind of been my signature, to like to do what I say, no matter how long it took me. Granted, it wasn't always right away, but a lot of times it was. And I don't know exactly what's bringing out this karma of people that, you know, I do believe in my heart, you know, maybe either wanted to be there or wanted to be able to do whatever they said, and then they just end up flaking out on the last minute. And that ended up, like, for my gigs, for example, that ended up putting me in a bad situation. To now it's like this, you know, battle to keep the internet on. So anyway, this ended up being like a 25-minute video. So I am going to film another video to go over the horoscopes, because it's 9:15 here on Pacific Standard Time in Sin City, Seoul. It's not too late, to do a second video. All right, so we're already on a roll. Got good momentum for 2019. I said no day without an upload. I'm already gonna be on the second one, which is because, again, right, trying to be a G of my word that I said I was gonna read our horoscopes for day one of the new year. So anyway, that, I'm not sure quite what that was, but right, okay. Let's leave the fake polite stuff in 2018. You know, find a way. There's gotta, right, like we study in Buddhism, the middle way. There's gotta be a middle way to say what you really mean without being like, without needing to go in on someone, without needing to be insulting. You know, this guy, instead of just having the courage to say whatever the real deal was, he had to kind of like pussyfoot around and string along, when that's not you trying to avoid my crazy. That's you kind of being a low-key coward. And courage, compassion, and wisdom are the three legs of the chair that balance the Buddha. So as soon as you take one leg out, like courage, oh no, the Buddha's gonna topple over and you're gonna be on the floor, so sad, you know. So right, like, I don't want that for you. I want you to have the courage along with the compassion and along with the wisdom. Because when you take anyone away, then you fall off your square, your stool, if you will. You fall off balance. You're still a Buddha, but you done toppled over. So right, I felt so bad that this person was having a major issue with courage, to the point where like you have to like string somebody that you, I mean, I guess I should be flattered that he was worried about what I thought, right? I mean, that's what me as a conceited Leo has to conclude, that the reason you gone out of your way to make these kind of like fuckboy excuses is because you were so worried about what I think, or I guess what am I gonna say or whatever, when you know, I'm not gonna be offended that I'm not your cup of tea for that day, like for whatever reason. It doesn't. It's not my right necessarily. Cause if I don't have time for you, I'm not gonna expect to have to give you this long drawn out explanation. That's just me. So anyway, let's chant for, you know, my friend that I was bringing out his inner fuckboy. I don't know what's going on. You know, you guys, listen. If you're my friend, there's no need to string any kind of BS along, because I'm gonna see it. Foresight is a gift and a curse. That sounds conceited as fuck. But right, like my point is that, right, I saw this guy coming. Now, I already made my plans and my provisions so that your girl still had a great 2019 intro, right? Your girl still had a great 2019 New Year's Eve. But that was based on me hearing the fuckboy come out of him in the text message. So, no need. That's my point. In 2019, I mean, like, really, let's all chant to find the middle way. There's gotta be a way, not, you know, to not be fake polite and still be able to get your point across. I would have respected the G in him a lot more for him to say, like, he could even just say, look, I have a bunch of stuff going on. Maybe because I'm not the type to say, like, what, I'm just going to say, okay, cool, like, have a good new year, and leave and cut you loose, like, on any level. But he couldn't, you know, instead he kind of just like on some wait and see, you're on call type stuff, but don't want me to know I'm on call. And I'm like, it's kind of hard not to see that you got me on like option DCFG. And that's, I mean, look, I can't be worried about what gets me on the A list, but don't try to act like that's not what's going on. You can keep it real with me. I'm a big enough girl, right? As you guys can see, right? You know, your girl is not brittle and bony. So, right, I could probably take it, you know, and I got a big head, a big hard head. So, I could probably take whatever high stakes message that you really want to convey, instead of this like fake polite stuff. Let's leave that behind, yeah? Happy New Year. Nam yo Harenge Kyo.